Question number 11 from the school assignment. I'll try to explain you how to understand a word problem, represent it in different ways, and then write down the equation. Finally, you will need to solve the equation to get the answer. For this particular case, answer is also given to you. Question 11 is, river flows at 2 kilometers per hour and John takes 6 hours to row 16 kilometers up the river and 16 kilometers back. How fast did he row? So as we have been doing with all distance, time, speed, we have to make a table. And this table will provide us a relation between distance, speed, and time, right? So here always there will be two events. So these are the two rows for the events. Now we'll write down distance, speed, and time. Distance for us is in kilometers, speed in kilometers per hour, and time is in hours. Now the event is, river flows at 2 kilometers per hour, so we know river speed is, we'll write down, river speed is 2 kilometers per hour, and John takes 6 hours to row 16 kilometers up the river and 16 kilometers back. How fast did he row? So the last sentence tells you what you need to do. How fast did he row? So let's say, so we'll define a variable for that, right? And then figure out what that speed is. So we'll say rowing speed is what, right? So we'll say rowing speed, let it be. So that comes with a let statement. So we'll say let rowing speed be r kilometers per hour, okay? So that is how we should start. Now what are the two events? Two events is that John is rowing up the river and then back, right? So let's say this is up and this is down, right? So let's start down with this. What is the distance? 16 kilometers up the river and 16 kilometers back. So this is 16 and 16. And total time given to us is he takes 6 hours to row 16 kilometers up. That means total time will come here, which is 6 hours, right? Now you have to figure out the speed. Speed for going up. When you're going up the river speed should be subtracted because you're going slower, right? Slower by the river speed. So it will be r minus 2, where r is the rowing speed of John. And while coming down, river helps you to move faster, so you move faster, and therefore you're going to take lesser time. Now, you should recall what is the relation between distance, speed, and time, right? So distance, speed, and time, triangle, let's make it. I know it's trivial, like you've been doing it forever, but still no harm. Distance, speed, and time. So from here, time is distance divided by speed. Distance is 16, so we can say 16 divided by speed of r minus 2. And while going down, it has to be 16 divided by r plus 2, right? So this has to be much smaller or shorter time than the previous one. But when you add them together, it is 6 hours. So that gives us the equation, right? So always you'll find that the last two statements, well, here are just two statements, give you the relation and what you need to find, okay? So the relation here is 16 over r minus 2 plus 16 over r plus 2. That means time taken to go up and down is 6, right? So we'll write down our equation, which is 16 over r minus 2 plus 16 over r plus 2, and this is equal to 6. So most of the distance time relations will end up something like this, right? You'll have two terms with some denominator here, and that is why we are saying application of rational functions. So variable is right there in the denominator. That makes it kind of rational, okay? To solve this, we have to always multiply by the common denominator all the three terms. So the common denominator is r minus 2 times r plus 2. Now when you multiply them, then of course it's kind of cross multiply. 16 gets multiplied by r plus 2. This 16 gets multiplied by r minus 2. And 6 get multiplied by both of them, which is also difference of squares. You write this as r square minus 2 square. That helps one step lesser towards the solution, okay? So you get the equation. Now from here, you can get a quadratic equation, that is, by multiplying by common denominator, okay? So find the least common denominator, multiply with that, right? Some of you can also simplify it, dividing everything by 2, getting 8, 8, and 3, and then doing the same thing, right? But in this case, I'll just do straight. I'll do 16 times r plus 2 plus 16 times r minus 2 equals to 6 times r plus 2 times r minus 2. I'm trying to show you how to simplify this expression. One way is, of course, to expand and then simplify. The other way is look at it. 16r plus 16r. So that means 32r, right? So we can write down 32r. And how about this? So we'll write 32r, and 16 times 2 minus 16 times 2, that becomes 0. So we get only 32r on this side. Here we got 6 times product of sum and difference will give you r square minus 2 square, which is 4. So that's kind of faster, right? Now from here you can expand, bring all the terms together to get your quadratic equation. So when we bring 32 to the right, we get 0 equals to 6r square minus 32r. 6 times 4 is 24 with a negative sign. Solve this quadratic equation. You can simplify it now also. You can factor it also. And probably you'll get answer of 6 kilometers per hour as the rowing speed. And that, write it very clearly. So the answer, rowing speed is 6 kilometers per hour. Don't forget about the units, okay? So solve this and get the answer. If there's a difficulty, you can write back to me. I hope you understand how we do these kinds of problems, especially when we are talking about relative speed, right? So it is kind of relative speed. So whenever two speeds are there given to you, like you could have air and airplane speed, or like boat and water speed, those are very similar problems and should be solved like this. Thank you and all the best.